Well, do we have a surprise for you today? I am here with my buddy Roger at another historic home in an area called Putnam Heights. It too is historic preservation, I guess.
Yes. We're right on the edge of the HP district.
And that informs some of what he did. But it's the home of a young man, a young single man. And boy, is it unique. I think this has some of the more unique features of any home.
It really does. And a lot of that's we owe to Jeb,
yeah,
our client. You know, he has done a lot and he is always doing new projects. He's got a great eye, but needs a little help sometimes pulling stuff together.
And he's a musician, a creative.
Yes, he's a creative soul.
Yes, has these creative tendencies. Now this is a darling little English Tudor house. It's very reminiscent of houses we have shown you before, some of which I have owned.
Yes.
But I love this allay of these Yopon hollies, and I really want to point these out to you guys because I get asked about these all of the time on my channel, Roger, of just what they are and what they do for us. And here they do a number of different things. So share some of what their purpose is right here.
Well, this is going to give us a little bit of privacy from the street because we've got a lot of traffic out here, and it's going to give us some privacy. It's also going to frame the front door because these will get tall enough we'll have a little alley and a little kind of tunnel that kind of repeats the arch over the front door eventually. They're evergreen, which is great. The berries are decorative. The birds love them. And these are nice. As they mature, we can limb them up a little bit, so we've got extra planting space underneath them. But they're a good, tough, disease-free tree. This is probably one of our favorite cultivars, Kathy Ann. It's a really good one for Oklahoma.
Kathy Ann, K or a C?
With a K.
Kathy with a K. Interesting.
It's a good cultivar for Oklahoma City. But they're just good tufts. They're relatively fast growing. You can consider them a small tree or a large shrub.
And the nice thing too is with this perspective faces south, we're really looking, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we're shooting this. So the sun is really south and bright in the sky, and the intensity of the sun, you can really feel it. So these are very tough from that heat,
definitely,
drought, high sun intensity perspective, but they also allow a breeze to come through.
Right.
They're not so dense that they really create an impediment in that regard. And then it's underplanted with some boxwood and lots of budlii.
Yes. Jeb had done that. We started with a really formal boxwood parterre and just have lost some of them over the couple of seasons, and so we decided that we're just going to kind of let this inside be a little bit rough. We'll replace some of the stuff on the outside and keep it kind of formal and straight and contained, but just keep it a little looser here in the center and add more ground covers as we go. And
emphasizing this really strong line to the front door, which is then punctuated right here with some junipers. And are these blue points? Are these sky?
I couldn't tell you.
But tough.
Yeah, they're tough blue junipers.
But they're tough blue junipers. And then, Stuart, if you can really get this line, because this is one of my favorite, this is one of my favorite effects, and this is green on green. It looks to be like this is probably wintergreen.
Probably, I would guess.
With
silverberry elaeagnus
behind it. And then some mammoth. Did you put those in?
Those are boxwoods in pots, and they give us some privacy from the street and a little shade in that little alcove without being a solid wall. So this is a nice little place for where the doggies can kind of hang out. Well, and the cats.
Yeah, and the cats.
We have a lot of neighborhood cats here.
Yeah, but you've also got some really large pines up in here and a cedar.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me what you can plant in pots. So let's take a break here and go to the exceptionally unique backyard.
All right, definitely.
Well, I'm going to apologize right now because it is a typical Oklahoma fall day, exceptionally windy, still very, very
and exceptionally hot for mid-October.
22 degrees above
normal.
Above
yes.
normal. So it's just one of those kind of days here. But the size and the stature of the house belies the size of the back garden.
Isn't it great?
It's really, really, really a deep property, and you come in, wonderful driveway gate that I'm sure he helped design.
Uh-huh.
And then he's got a studio back here, a musical studio
Yeah.
back here where he does his work. But look at this reveal as you come around the corner. Now this is unique.
It is. It really is.
And this is the kind of weather that motivates us to plant landscapes like this.
Right.
Because it's been so hot and it's been so dry.
I think it is at 31 days without a drop of rain.
Without a drop of rain. Really, I love the drama of the stucco and the black.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he was able to get that through HP. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Well, in some HP districts, they really don't worry too much about what's going on behind the back third of the front of the house.
Yeah. So framing this very drought-tolerant garden are these strips of concrete. So explain their rationale and their appeal.
Well, it's kind of like the old driveways that used to be built like for Model Ts and Model As. Mm-hmm. But it gives us a little turnaround space, because you don't want to back out onto the street in front, or it's also a place for an extra car to park in here, but without it being just a solid big block of concrete.
And you don't even really realize its function as a driveway option until you really start thinking it. Till you start thinking it through. I can't talk in this wind. Okay, talk to me a little bit about these massive metal planter boxes that line the driveway and then continue throughout the landscape, and they've got, it looks like sunshine ligustrum in it and more elaeagnus.
That's exactly right, and it's those are Jeb picked those out and already had those for us to work with. So we will move them around when we need to, and that's where they ended up. Yeah,
and a really interesting place for him to put his grill, but really handy to the back door.
Yeah, handy to the back.
Yeah. So now let's reveal how many different garden rooms do you think?
I don't know. There are a lot.
There are a lot, starting with this magnificent hot tub / mini pool.
And that's the newest part. Jeb just added that not too long ago.
Okay. Really
wonderful.
So that
and the concrete patio.
Now this is a perfect entertainment kind of pool.
Right.
Yeah. Really, really fun. And it's got a kind of a bally flair to it because
a little bit.
The wall of bamboo. Now talk to me about bamboo, because it always makes me nervous.
Well, I mean, you've got to have be a special breed to really embrace it. Mm-hmm. But I think the bamboo is originally coming from the yard next door. And so when he needs to add more, he can dig it up or move it around. And so he uses a
metal barrier?
It's not a metal barrier, it's a rubber barrier that's designed for bamboo, and I'm not sure which one he's using, but most of them are curved at the bottom so that when the roots hit it, they go back up.
And into it.
But it's specifically designed to contain bamboo, and it's done a really good job. Occasionally you'll see a piece that that leaps over or something, but it's not.
And then talk a little bit about these are
like a concrete.
Concrete.
And again, that's something that Jeb had. He thought surely we would get rid of those, but lo and behold, we didn't.
Oh, they're great.
Aren't they great?
Filled with it looks like wintergreen juniper.
Garden juniper, or Nana is one, I think is the cultivar. Mm-hmm.
And look at all this wonderful creeping thyme. This is what I want my thyme to do.
Isn't that beautiful? That thyme is
elfin.
A few months old.
Wow. Well, it's happy they're growing on this gravel.
We just added some more in here between these stepping stones.
Yeah, give it time.
Right, we all need more time, right?
Punster. What a little punster. And then more plantings here, just in pots, repeating some similar plantings in the landscape. And what is this over here?
Soft leaf yucca. I mean, isn't it great? I
It
mean,
is
just so
great.
bold, and I love the leaves, the way they are soft and kind of cascade, and the color,
And the color is
is great.
It's a tone you like a lot.
Yeah, I love this blue-gray tone. And
Uh-huh.
are these cold hardy enough to grow in pots, do you think?
They are, yeah. I mean, you know, anything's going to have a limited shelf life in a pot.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are tough enough to use in pots.
So if then we look back towards the back, a great vista, repeating some of the same types of plant material. Well, you know what? Let's just walk back that way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you tell us how you got cohesion of design with the other spaces in this area.
Well, we've just used, and again, this was Jeb, used this same kind of strip of concrete separated by bands of gravel that really repeat the design over there. And it's just something you don't really, doesn't really jump out at you, you don't really notice, but it does make it so much nicer than just a big solid slab of concrete.
Well, it makes it so much more texturally interesting, and it breaks up, because just a big square of concrete wouldn't be nearly as interesting, and this provides opportunity to grow ground
Yeah,
covers.
and the time, even as the time
things.
grows even more and softens those lines,
Yes,
it'll be great.
it'll be wonderful. Are these desert willows? What are
Desert
these?
willows.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And everything is consonant with the kind of xeriscaping vibe, and every
Pretty much,
one
yes.
place relates to each other place. So now talk about this, the yin and the yang
Yes,
garden.
isn't that great? Of course, I mean, I've got it, that was Jeb, again.
Wow.
And Jeb worked with a local sculptor who fabricated this out of metal. So this was something that we were given when we started helping Jeb.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring especially, it's gorgeous, because these are two different colors of creeping phlox.
And boy, it's happy.
Isn't it happy?
It's really happy.
It really is. And then we've got the garden juniper in the center, Taylor junipers in the center of rings that are slightly elevated above the yin and the yang, and then the blue spruce sedum at the base of the junipers. So very consistent
yeah.
colors.
And all drip irrigation that will, in short order, be completely obscured
Right.
by everything growing over it. Talk to me about this fabulous, is this a fountain or is this a
It's
pot,
just a
or
pot,
what is
and
it?
these pots are just so cool that we rarely plant them. It's carved stone, and that's something that
Let's come this way. So our
that's something that we added. We just like the scale, the color, the texture. I mean, look at this with the blue,
yeah.
the gray owl against the white. These are These are some pieces that we've imported from Bali.
well,
that-
see,
yeah.
and just a perfect focal point here, and I already feel zen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all. Are these metal? These are
Yeah, they're-
metal.
yeah, they're
okay,
metal.
They're more
Uh-huh.
metal. Could these have been constructed out of block?
It would
It
be
would've been
hard to do
difficult
because, you know,
with
the
the
curves,
angles.
you know, those really perfect sinuous curves are so much easier to do out of metal, or I guess you could maybe make it out of like something like a synthetic edging, like a Trex edging or something.
But the color is just
Uh-huh.
is just brilliant. We've got a willow back here, and Stuart commented how much he loved under this gazebo back here, how much he loved that lattice work, and that's just
Isn't it?
simple lattice that they've painted.
Yeah, and of course, you know, that's Jeb. He added that since we started working with him. We'll come over every once in a while and do some stuff, and then let it.
Just bounce ideas.
Yeah, and then so we've got a lot of the same plant material. We've got junipers, more Taylor junipers. We've got Canart junipers. We've got rising sun redbuds. Bunch of stuff that's going to just kind of grow and live happily together, we hope.
And make this feel even more exotic than it already does. A great place for them to jam.
Yes,
Back in here. And then what would any good garden be without a footed bathtub?
Of course.
Now, how fun is that? And
Is
it
that
looks
not
like it looks like it's operational. which is also a very Bali thing.
Uh-huh.
Another Bali pot over there.
Yes.
And is this a gong?
No, it's a fire pit.
It is a fire pit
But
with just a lid on it?
That's a lid, and we're going to use that as a table. We're kind of putting together a collection of rusted iron pieces to assemble on top of that.
Well, I was wondering if there was a fire element out here, but that kind of insinuates that. And then it comes all the way, the stepping stones come all the way, the gravel continues and weaves its way back here with a wall of bamboo, some more hollies, and it ends up at just kind of a destination back here, but also kind of a fun little resting spot. So then you can look at the garden from this aspect
open
too.
for more ideas and more work. And you know, we've just got some interesting understory, Japanese maple, red buds. This liriope is a great heavy-duty ground cover.
I can already see some kind of garden ornament in there that would be absolutely fabulous.
Well, and that's one of the cool things about this. You know, we've got a number of lanterns. That's a cast iron lantern.
Beautiful.
That's an old piece. That's wonderful. We've got a mix of old pieces and new pieces.
Does Jeb travel a lot?
You know, he does. I don't know. I think most of those pieces were acquired here in Oklahoma City.
Well, look at, and this is,
isn't that great?
Yeah,
Yes.
the way these old junipers have been sculpted. I love this one in the pot.
You know, putting it in a pot like that makes it almost like a piece of sculpture sitting on a pedestal.
Really makes it, and has that Japanese quality, that Oriental quality that's really, really wonderful. But there's more. So you've got a water element here, and then you come back around this way, and you can walk around the pine tree on the other side. But then if you come back up this way, lots of places to explore. This would be really fun for little kids to explore.
Right.
And then you come back in here, and what looks like it would just stop right here, kind of continues in some fashion back around here. And this is nice. This
is a great little patio.
This is a great little patio. It would make a great little potting station. It really is, and it's very surprising that it's even back here. And we're not finished yet.
Right.
Because it keeps on going through an open passageway here. And then what a fabulous, and this is one of the only concession to color. Yeah, really bright color. And the fringed umbrellas, very, very fun. And these are mostly, looks like
floor pattern.
Yeah, Nellie Stevens.
Nellie Stevens hollies.
Back here. And is this crossvine?
Yes, it is.
I see maybe one or two blooms on it still. And then this is kind of, another beautiful evergreen in pots, 2 pots. And then this is framed out by almost as if this is hanging art, vertical art right here, with this wonderful wrought iron gate.
But can't you imagine if you have a lot of guests over, opening these gates and having guest flow from the front, around the back, all the way to the back, and back up to the front.
Yeah, and it's all very easy to journey through. I mean, there's really no impediment along the way anywhere. Well, this is really fun. Are these laurels here?
Cherry laurels,
Cherry
there was
laurels.
one growing here, and we transplanted a couple to help hide the pool equipment. There's a fence, a solid wood fence that'll be built to really screen the pool equipment.
Yeah, and it looks like it's been pruned and is starting to come out again. Well, I definitely could hang out here with a tropical cocktail. Could you?
Oh, definitely. And I think this qualifies for what is being called a cocktail pool these days.
Is that
that's
what
really
it's- oh,
designed.
it's
It's
that-
not.
It's
It's
like
not
a
a hot
table, but
tub.
underwater.
You know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, you can sit in there, and in Oklahoma, we probably don't say it enough. Pools are in a,
Well, can you put a table in the middle of that? It looks like there's
You
something that
could.
goes down.
you
You
probably could
could.
put a table, but it's also just it's got a cooling effect. Even
It does.
even
Uh-huh.
if you're
Water.
not sitting in it, just the fact
Well,
that
I mean,
it's water.
Look how happy the baby Buddha is.
The baby
next
Buddha,
to the
yes.
next to the pool.
Yes, and hopefully you guys are as happy as the baby. Baby, that's hard
Spit
to
it out,
say.
Linda, spit it out.
At the big but baby Buddha sitting on the corner of the entertaining pool right here. So thank you for showing us all
Oh,
around.
It's
Thank
always
you.
fun.
Thank
It's
you
always
to
fun.
Jeb wherever
Yes,
he
thank you, sir.
is for giving us permission to show you this really wonderful place. And I kind of feel like I'm in a Cialis commercial or something with that tub in the
Yeah.
distance.